Were we?
All right. Well, welcome everyone, live with Miss Karen Weaver, and this also known as Karen McDermott. And we are here to celebrate the launch of her incredible book that I got to spend most of yesterday with, um,
Yes.
The Law of Love. Oh, Karen, how does it feel to have it done and out? And
It is so good. And you know what, Adria? I didn't share this with you, so I'm kind of lumbering this on you. But gratitude was supposed to be before love.
oh, it was.
Um,
Oh,
and that happens sometimes with me in my books. The gift and gratitude was supposed to be first, but this one aligned better. And do you know what I realized was that number four in the series of seven, number four is in the middle. So Law of
mhm.
Love is the heart of the series,
Oh, how
isn't
perfect.
it?
Oh my gosh. You know, what's funny is I did have a moment where I went, "Oh my God, it's so amazing that it's in the middle," because
Yes.
it gets to kind of hold everything around the other side of it, as it should be, because that's how it is with love. I pulled something when I read it. It just made me feel like the essence of life is to communicate love. Like
Mhm.
that was what hit me from the book. And I want, do you have it up, or do you
I can share the book because
share that
we actually,
beautiful
as much as we are behind, and we're actually ahead in a way too. So there we go. And that's just how we do things, isn't it? So
yes,
I'm sharing there.
there
Is
we
it
go.
there
Oh,
we are, we're
there we go,
sharing.
there we go.
I love this cover, and I have to share it goes so well with, and I'm going to promote this afterwards, but it goes so well with Quantum Love. They come together beautifully, the colors and the energy and everything, our baby Quantum Love. So it's just so beautiful.
It's absolutely beautiful, absolutely. I was hoping, I mean, just the first sentence, can you just read the very first sentence of the book, and then I feel like that's it, I'm in.
Is this it here? Is
Last
this
first
it here?
sentence.
It's like read the first sentence and we're done.
And
That's
we're
it,
done.
we're done. I am a great believer that love conquers all. The energy of love is so pure and powerful, beyond comprehension, that we sometimes limit the possibility of what we can make happen in our lives by accessing our unlimited supply of this golden nectar of life. I love that. Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it. This book really is an invitation to live your life with love first.
Yes,
Do
it
you,
is, isn't
do
it?
you feel like there was something in your life that a moment or something that brought you to that feeling, and you thought, you know what, that's it. I'm just going to go with love first, and then everything else will start to fall into place.
Yeah. Well, I was gifted unconditional love as a child, and I soon realized becoming an adult that unconditional love is not guaranteed for all children. So I think when you have that foundation to life, um, and you get to be curious and navigate, curious and to explore life with this safetiness of unconditional love, no matter whether you make mistakes or not, you have that was
Yeah.
a very privileged space that I've become to realize and really just treasure with all of my heart. And I'm not going to say that life has been super easy. I've been through my challenges. I have my lessons to learn, but I learned the value of approaching it from loving intention. The solutions to that, or even just every interaction that I have, there's always a loving
Mhm.
way of navigating it, or showing up in life. There's
Yeah.
always, you can choose love or you can choose hate. It's up to you. You can't do both. So I choose love.
Yeah. I love it. I think that, I mean, for me, certainly, over time, it just became the only answer. No
Hmm.
matter how much, because you know me, I have that kind of scientific way of thinking about things and approaching them and testing them. And it just, time and time again, it just felt like there is no other path forward but to take the path of love.
there's not.
because you don't know what
The
someone
absence.
else is thinking. You don't know what someone else is up to. Their intention may have been as pure as yours. It's just that they didn't align, right? So I think it's such a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. And the reason I'm asking that is because you called this the law of love.
Yes.
Not only putting our love first, but putting love for ourself first. So I wondered if you could just kind of talk about how you view it and why you chose the title, sort of the law, like the law.
There's two reasons why I chose the law of love. Okay. So there's two reasons, and one is because I came across somewhere and I can't find it. Is that before the law of attraction was called the law of attraction, it was called the law of love, and I know it was deep down in history because people it was a whole era of people, a whole time that people realized, a whole civilization realized the power of acting through love, and how there was success through that, there was better relationships through that, there was progression through that. It was a more amazing time to live in and to bask in, was through love. And so that was one of the things that struck me. So I was like, this is called the law of love. The next thing is I started to study the universal laws of the universe. Now, not the laws that govern us in our countries or in our,
Right.
wherever we live. These are the universal laws that govern everything in our lives, whether we want to, admit them or not. But I have learned
Unbreakable.
about them, all different laws,
Yeah.
attraction, everything, right? And there's so many of there's a main 11, but there's so I studied those, and I was like, well, love, to reach the potential of each one of those laws, love governs it. So
Hmm.
when you approach it, whenever you navigate any of those laws, which we all have the opportunity to do, it's just the knowledge, we learn how to work them and work with the laws. And when we do it with love, we reach our highest potential in the most super, it's like a super fuel, I call it.
It is like a super fuel. It's
Yeah,
it's unbreakable.
it
It's
is.
there is never a wrong answer when you approach it from love. I mean, that's absolutely we've talked about this before. For me, a go-to of what would love do? What would love do? Love would love. Love would love. Love would forgive. Love would let everybody be who everybody wants to be. Love
Yeah.
wouldn't be bothered with disappointment. That's not even a word in love's language, right?
No,
Like
no.
it's just clarity. It's just more information. It's just getting you on the right path. It's just so liberating to live your life with love, as your anchor, as your guide, all of it, right? And I know we've talked about that.
When love is the anchor to everything, because there's so many different aspects of life. There's our health, there's our ambitions, there's our family, there's ourselves. When we approach each one of those different facets of life, and pump love into it, you only ever see the good things. You will have challenges, because we're all here to learn things and to grow and evolve as people. And when we set intentions, we're going to, but challenges are, even whenever you embrace them with love, you will grow through them, because we're here to evolve. We're not supposed to be the same, as we're supposed to grow as people. And one example I want to share, which has happened recently for the health wise, is that like, for example, my daughter was very ill 10 weeks ago. She was on death's door. And I watched Love and Motion whenever it came to her healing process. Now, I watched Love and Motion when I pulled up at the hospital and she was whisked away, and there was people, there was all of the nurses and doctors around her straight away, pumping love into her and just getting, from, that kind of a way. Also, the love that came from me to be with her every moment, and from her dad, and from everybody who sent well wishes, because I believe in the energy of everyone coming together, and so many people sent love our way. And here we are 10 weeks later. She's, everything is beautiful and
Riding around in a
harmonious, and she's
limo,
well.
riding around in a limo, eating ice cream.
Riding in a limo on her 13th birthday. There you go, with all her friends. Now, for 10 weeks, like, that's amazing. You can go from that to that. And I know that she is healed in super fast speed. It's amazing. She was on so much insulin whenever, because she was diagnosed with diabetes. She was on so much insulin and now she's down to like 1, 2. I'm like your healing miracle right now, because she's on so little. It's amazing. It is just a blessing. And so there's miracles that can happen through love, and
Right.
they will only happen through love.
Right. And loving yourself enough to say, I know my body's healthy. I know my body's strong. You know,
Yes.
for your daughter, for all of us to be saying, we know how strong you are. We know this is just information so that you can have a wonderful life. It's just information. And to understand that from the messages that come through for you in life. They're just little messages. Maybe try this way, not that way, right?
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
and what's interesting is you talk about in the book, this is a confusion that I think a lot of people have, and I certainly have had it in my life, not meaning to, because I like to think I'm evolved, but I do this anyway, which is that love as a sacrifice, or love as suffering, love as overgiving. So, wondering if you can just kind of talk about that confusion that sometimes people have about what it means to actually love and receive love.
Mm. Well, I'm a giver at heart. I've always been a giver, and I thought you just give. I had to learn how to receive, and that's a big one. That's a big one for people who are givers, is to accept things with love and with an open heart, because it is about keeping our hearts open and giving and receiving through that. That's natural flow and motion, and all of that kind of stuff. But whenever we give without expectation as well, that's a big one as well. It's all just love is energy, and you know this, Adria. It's energy. It's all around all of us. It's there for everyone to access at all times. There's an infinite well. The more we use it, the more that is created of it. So why not access it?
Right.
We all have that choice. It may sound a bit woo woo, but I have used it in so many amazing ways in my lifetime, and I tested on myself. So you can, and you can see many of the amazing, great people in this world, including the contributors in the book. I have 5 amazing contributors who shared their love and motion stories, and one of them is actually waiting in the wings, Taryn
Oh,
Clare.
yeah.
Yeah, so she can come join us, and like it's amazing what happens. How you get the insight into people's life of what it's like to live through love and get the results in your life, the optimum results through that.
Exactly. One thing that you say a lot, and you say this, but you say this a lot, and I love it. It's almost like the one that you say about divine timing. Um,
Yes,
but love life, and it will love you back.
yes,
So
it's as
talk.
simple as that.
It's as
Let's
simple
not
as
make
that.
we
It's
make
just,
it too complicated, but we are human. After all, we have to just embrace the humanness of us. We like to make things more complicated than they need to be, but don't overthink things. I say this to my writer friends as well, what you're starting out writing. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. Let the first draft come out. It's the same with love. Just
yeah,
tap into that hardcore that we all have, but maybe some of us have it shielded because we've had past hurts, and that's normal. But you can just break away that crust and let it shine through, and when you see the benefits of that in your life, you won't shield it up again. You will have the courage, and it takes courage to live through love. But yeah, love life, and it will love you back.
right.
Simple.
And I think that it's funny. I have a Louise Hay calendar that tarot case
Yes.
off every day. And of course, today it was to write down 10 things that you love so that life can love on you, right? So that sort of exchange of
Yes.
if for me, the journey was really in loving myself enough to understand that if I love myself this much, I can easily love anybody else, because it comes to that, loving without expectation, giving without expectation, to just love it anyway, love it anyway. I love that. I love that.
Test it, isn't it? Just test it.
Yep.
Test yourself. Just whenever you have a dilemma or something happen in your day, which happens every single day, there's always thing. React with love and intention, and wait till you see how what happens because of that. that one little thing, that one little choice, that one little, it won't be your go-to, it won't be your instant reaction straight away, but if you make it a habit to think that way, it'll become an automatic reaction in life, isn't it?
Yes. This is
Can we
such.
can we bring Taryn up, because
Yeah,
Taryn's waiting
let's
in the
do
room. I
it.
know she is. Yeah, there we go. Hey, Taryn. Oh, and Pooch.
They say never to work with children and animals, and I'm trying to. He's desperate to have his,
In
time
a
in the limelight.
little spotlight
Yes,
moment.
yes.
Oh,
Oh, so beautiful. Adria's dogs are amazing too. You guys would just love check
yes,
each other out.
time. Oh.
Oh,
So tell us a little
congratulations.
bit about your contribution to this beautiful book, and thank you for it.
Oh, what a beautiful book to be a part of. It is just as you open it up, it just has this beautiful energetic vibration. You can feel the love really coming across in every single page. And I think, huge congratulations to Karen and the work that she does and the impact that she's having on so many people in the process. So I'm really proud to be a part of this process. So I met Karen, and she asked me to be a part of this book. And my history is that I was diagnosed with breast cancer unexpectedly at the end of 2016. And I very soon discovered that people met me from a place of fear. And, I could do fear all by myself. And what I soon understood is that I needed that vibration of love in order to make me better.
Love
Isn't
it.
it so special? And I've met obviously Taryn online, but we had the joy of meeting each other in Mission Beach at that just amazing retreat. Like, we're all just family now because of it. And she just oozes love. The vibration that comes from this woman is just love. And and I can't even begin to imagine the health journey you have had since 2016, but she chooses love and just oozes it and gifts it to us all, and in return we gift it back without even thinking, because it's just this energy flow that happens when you're in Taryn's energy. So it's like, please, Taryn, will you be part of this book, because you are love in motion. It was just the most beautiful thing.
Well,
And so many people.
I do believe in reciprocity, and not necessarily when you give out love is it going to come back to you in
Yes.
return. What I have got to experience is that love comes back from all sorts of places that we don't expect, and to the power of 10. Like, you sort of give out love in one direction, and as long as you're not expecting anything back in return, what I got to discover in person, that it came from a completely different direction. Honestly, I got shown love by complete strangers in huge magnitude. And it was a really humbling lesson in love as well. You sort of you get to experience it, and sometimes it can be overwhelming, because as women, we're not used to receiving love. We're programmed to give, to love, to nourish, to nurture another. But I think you touched on it earlier about learning how to receive as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, isn't she amazing, Adria? And Taryn has come to join us, and she has an event happening in her house tonight, and she's took time out. So I really, really treasure that. So thank you so much, Taryn, for joining us tonight for this launch.
Thank you, Karen, and congratulations on a beautiful book. And I can't wait to be sharing it with my community. It's something that adds value, and you put out something that is really high caliber, and I'm really proud to be a part of it.
Oh, thank you, Taryn. I'm going to let you go back to those people in the background. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Isn't she perfect
Oh,
for the book?
amazing. Absolutely amazing. Love it. Love it.
Love
The
and
book
motion.
is incredibly generous, Karen. It offers not only every definition of love that you can possibly think of, which is awesome. It also gives people prompts and exercises and ways to really step in to their love quite deeply, right? Quite deeply. And I just think it was really incredible. Do you have a certain thing that you do to kind of get you back to love? If you kind of step, I can't even imagine you doing this, but do you have like a go-to that you do?
I do step out of love. But, I'm human. Come on.
You are?
If
I'm not sure.
I ask my kids, honestly, I have, one thing that is for certain is I love my kids with all my heart, but I also get so much from the love from them. I really and truly do. I am totally blessed. My family, I'm the eldest of six, and there's so much that comes from there. Also, my fundamental of learning, which is the unconditional love I had as a child. It's like, wow. So I feel very blessed. But you know what? Life is life. And sometimes stress happens, and stress isn't one of the most loving things. So what I do is I practice self-love. Then I'm going, okay, Karen, let's not go any further down this track. Let's pull it back a bit, rein it. Let's close over that to-do list and let's go and do something. So that's either I go and hang out with my kids, because doing kids stuff, back to it's fun, it's fun.
Yeah.
So I never get tired doing that. That fills my soul cup. So because quite often when we're tired and when we're not love enthused, it's quite often because our soul cup's kind of depleting. And so that's just what I focus on. And the beach, like I always knew I would live close to a beach. I love going to the beach. And now that it's coming to summertime and those morning, I get up early, I'm a 5 a.m. riser, and those morning sunrises, they're just so special. It's a beautiful way to start the day. So one thing I always make sure that I do is I start the day in my way, something that charges me and fuels me in some way, and that's writing quite often, because I get so much love from writing. I just love it so much, just being in that energy, it just charges me up. So I always recommend to people, do something first thing in the morning that starts your day off on the right note, because and if you don't get the opportunity to do that, it's not the end of the world. You can reset your day during the day, you can reset it, so yeah,
I love it. I agree. I think that first few moments is really incredible. And here's
it'll be for the kids.
yes, which we know. Good morning, Mary. Good morning.
Good morning, Mary. Hold on. I need a moment.
I love her. I absolutely love, more than anything, when an author does my homework for me, which you do in this book by giving us, here's all these experts: Louise Hay, Marianne Williamson, Einstein, Napoleon Hill, all on love, and she puts it in there for you.
Yeah.
For me, it's so you get these definitions, and then you get all this reference material, and you get these examples of love on this incredible level, on this incredible philosophical, thoughtful level. What made you choose those? Are those people that they're my same list of, of people.
It's funny, isn't it? We are aligned. And I remember talking to you about Marianne Williamson's book. And I'm like, wow, I read this book. And you're like, are you kidding me? Because that book changed my life.
Saved my life.
I'm not.
The Power of Love saved my life from a breakup.
Is it The Return to Love or something?
Yeah, The Return to Love. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, Return to Love. Yes.
And also, like Louise Hay was, whenever I awakened to the power of law of attraction, obviously The Secret was going really gangbusters at the time, but I also, and it can be very confronting for people, because you're going, oh my God, I have to think, really just filter all my thoughts. Like, it's like, there's no way I can, there are 40,000 thoughts a day. How do we do it? So obviously your emotions are how you filter it, how you navigate it. And so through the power of emotion, but I found Louise Hay, and it's such a gentler approach to the law of attraction and navigating your emotions. And so because she's all about love and all about everything
I
through
love
love.
myself. I mean, just standing and saying that in front of the mirror.
It's the most powerful thing. I couldn't do that at the beginning.
Oh no, of course not. I couldn't either. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Now I'm
I can't look in those
Adrea.
eyes.
I love you, Adrea.
I can look in those eyes. They're, there's, but then you eventually do it. It's like a breakthrough moment. But that poem that I shared of Louise Hayes in the book, um, The Infinite Well of Love, I remember saying that like a prayer. And
Hmm.
whatever it, I just done it every day. And whatever it shifted within me, it just, the end, like I'm getting goosebumps thinking
Me
about it. I
too.
remember back to that time, you
Yeah.
know. And
Yeah.
then at the end of this book, I share the article that I wrote yonks ago. Was it 2009 or something? And it's called, what was it? The Love is the Answer.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember that being published by Building Beautiful Bonds, and it's in Heart Notes, which is a book of all of my collections of essays. I could not write that now because I wrote that when I was awakening.
Yeah.
And so to the potential of life and all of those articles I wrote. But The Law of Love was the one that went a bit viral. Now this was pre-Facebook, pre before Facebook really kicked off, and it went viral. I remember a guy messaging me to ask permission to use it in some, maybe Germany or something. And
Mm,
I remember it just went everywhere. So I was like, the world is ready for love,
yeah.
is seeking it, and let's just keep it simple and just learn how to open our hearts. And that's the rest is history.
Interesting. I think that something you said there, especially for any writers that are watching, is to write now when you're raw. Like I couldn't write so many things that I've written. I couldn't
Yeah.
write them now because I'm not in that space. And so that's why it's so important to write them down. And and especially like if you're going to write a memoir, you're going to talk about your journey of love, which is something that everybody is always wanting to read because that's what people really are seeking, is that level of peace and harmony within themselves, this place of love. And to write it down, no matter how angsty or angry or fearful it is, get it out and set yourself up to the triumph that awaits, right? All story, the triumph that awaits is this living.
There's nothing as lovely, Adria, isn't it, as looking back. And I have even they're just like diaries that I had for business, but I would write things in them. And I look back, I found one from 10 years ago, and I was like, oh, this is gold, to find that and to remember and go back to
Yeah,
where I was then. Like that is just, so I always suggest, no matter where you scribble it down, in your diary is wonderful, but in your journal, like, and just to, because you cannot you cannot replicate that moment.
right.
You cannot replicate how you felt and where you were in your evolutionary process in that moment. And like
Yeah,
I could not write what I have in Heart Notes now. I couldn't write that now
right.
because I have evolved too much way past that. But yet that those articles and essays are so relevant to someone who's awakening, and like I was, and who's on their spiritual journey.
Yeah.
It was very bizarre. And when people resonate with something, it ignites something within them, especially that's why I'm so passionate about the power of words,
Mm,
So
absolutely, absolutely.
I'm going to
Oh,
share with you something that Jennifer Sharp has said. We love you, Jennifer.
aw,
Love Jennifer Sharp. The energy between you both is amazing. We love you, Jennifer. She's all
oh,
about magic too. She's amazing.
oh, amazing.
Yeah.
So, where should people buy? Oh, look at this.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
guys, you got an insight into the book, a little sneaky, sneaky peek. But we were a little bit behind on this book, but it's available on. It's being printed next week. It's available on mmhpress.com and will be available everywhere online next week. So there we go. We're not too far behind schedule, but
no,
there
not
we
too
go.
bad. I just wanted to, for people that don't know, this is all part of the Alchemy of Life series.
Alchemy of Life Magic series. And if you want to keep up to date, please come and join me in the Life Magic Mastery with KP Weaver group. I love that's where I talk all things and gratitude and everything about this series. And there are 7 life principles that I live through, and each book is just a little introduction. They're only about 30,000 words each book, into mindfulness, um,
Knowing.
knowing, intention, love, gratitude, forgiveness, and belief. They are my 7 life principles, and I live through them and the reason why I started writing about them is because people are saying, how do you do life? You're a mum of 6. You've got 3 publishing presses. You just live this life that you just enjoy so much. You're always fueled by joy. So how do you do it? And I was like, well, I'll share with you how I do it. And you can, because there's no excuse policy. If I can do it, you can do it. There's no excuses. Just a choice.
Absolutely. Exactly. Choice after choice. Choose love.
Choose love. Great minds, see?
All right, my dear. Well, thank you so much. And congratulations on this absolutely beautiful book. I cannot wait to add it to my collection. And we'll speak soon on gratitude.
We will. Thank you so much to everyone for watching.
Thank you, everyone. Bye now.
Bye, guys.